Cam phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
The college football playoff. Every year, many teams on the FBS Division I level compete to have a spot in the 4-team playoff race. In that 4-team playoff race, if you win, you're in the national championship game. You win the next game, you're the national champions. An argument among many fans of college football over the past few seasons has been playoff expansion. And the wishes to finally expand the college football playoff have become granted, as in 2026, maybe even earlier, the playoff is going to expand from 4 teams to 12 teams. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know about the 12-team playoff system. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. Let's talk about the history of the college football playoff just briefly. The first year the college football playoff took effect was in the 2014-2015 college football season. The 4 teams that made it were Alabama, Oregon, Florida State, and Ohio State. The championship game was between Ohio State and Oregon. Ohio State won the first ever college football playoff national championship game, 42-20. Since that first ever college football playoff national championship game, Alabama has won 3 college football playoff titles, Clemson has won 2, LSU has won 1, and Georgia has also won the most recent one. If you take a deeper look at the college football playoff national title history, you will notice that there's only been 6 teams to ever make it to the national title game under the college football playoff system. Those being Ohio State twice, Oregon once, Alabama 6 times, Clemson 4 times, Georgia twice, and LSU once. And with the college football playoff as a whole starting from 2014 to present day, a total of 13 teams have made it, and 6 of them have made it more than once. The 6 teams that have made it more than once being Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. What is a 12-team playoff? Well, a 12-team playoff is exactly what it sounds like. It's a 12-team playoff. Yes, I know that's straightforward and quite blunt, but let's take a look at the bracket itself more. The 12 teams that will make it will be the 6 highest ranked conference champions plus the next 6 highest ranked teams. With talking about bracket placement, the 4 highest ranked conference champions will be seeded 1 to 4 and will have a bye week for the first week. Then the 4 highest remaining seeds will host the lower seeds and the sites will be determined. Those teams that are hosting in the first round can play on their home fields or play at a neutral site. Also, the first round of the expanded 12-team college football playoff will take place 12 days after conference championship games. If you want a visual representation of what a 12-team college football playoff would look like, here's an example of what it would have looked like during the 2021-2022 college football season. The 12-team playoff system is expected to take full effect for the 2026 college football season. However, there is a chance that it may happen before. In 2024 and 2025, there's a slim chance in 24 and a reasonable chance in 25, but the logistics really have to play out for a 12-team playoff system to take over the 4-team system before 2026. But no matter what happens, we're still not that far away from it expanding from 4 teams to 12 teams. It's only a few seasons. In this section of the video, I am going to be talking about thoughts on the 12-team college football playoff system. I'm going to be talking about my personal opinion and the masses' opinion from what I've been seeing over the past few days in support and against this new system that's going to take effect real soon. First, I'm going to be taking a look at the side that supports the expansion from 4 teams to a 12-team college football playoff system. This side is taking a look at it as they're happy that there is an expansion. They've been asking for an expansion these last few seasons, as a big reason for that is it really seems like we see the same teams in the college football playoff over and over again, and it's even more true when you look at the national title game. Another smaller argument that people had about expanding the college football playoff from the fan perspective is making postseason matter more outside the college football playoff. As these last few seasons, we've seen some big bowl games, especially New Year's Six bowl games, with teams that just barely missed the cut on a college football playoff appearance. And we see players that are top players for their teams ultimately opt out of those bowl games and making those bowl games less interesting as a whole. Although there's a lot of people out there that really do like this new expansion for the college football playoff, there's also a good amount of people out there that straight up do not like this expansion at all. One of the big arguments of the people against the college football expansion have is that it makes the playoff less meaningful. Having 12 teams in the new system is a lot of teams, and it makes it a lot easier to get to the playoff, as you can lose 3 games in the season, and yeah, you can easily be in the playoff depending on some of your wins, and if the losses were quote-unquote quality losses. Something that's often said on that side of the argument is that the elite teams in college football make it to the college football playoff for a reason. Yes, there's a lot of repeating in the college football playoff as it's been implemented in 2014 to present day, with a lot of teams making it over and over again. But they are the best of the best for a reason. There's a reason why the best teams are always in the college football playoff consistently. They have the best coaching, the best talent, and the best overall play, and more importantly, they don't lose, and if they do, it's usually one loss. In my personal view of the new college football playoff expansion, I am somewhere in the middle. I didn't hate the 14 playoff system, but I did think there was a needed college football playoff expansion. However, I don't necessarily think 12 teams is exactly the best idea for it. I can definitely see the argument why 12 teams is the needed expansion, but in my opinion, I believed 8 teams was personally the best situation if you're going to expand the playoffs, as the top 8 teams usually are pretty close to each other for the most part, at least most of them, maybe not 1 versus 8, but let's just say like maybe 8 versus 4, or maybe even 8 versus 3 in some instances. I should mention, I'm not the only one that has this belief that's kind of in the middle, that supports expansion of the college football playoff, but doesn't necessarily think 12 teams is exactly the best case. I could definitely be wrong, as we're still a few years out from the 12-team playoff exactly taking full effect, and no matter what happens, I'm going to be looking forward to it in some way, as maybe we'll see some kind of Cinderella story with a lower seeded team, like maybe a 10, 9, 11 seed team taking over, making it to a national title game, and maybe, just maybe, winning the whole thing. Well guys, if you made it this far in the video, drop something down in the comment section below. What is your thoughts on the new 12-team playoff system? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.